All the derps, all the dips.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and thanks for stopping by. Our dedicated team will guide you through with the latest updates and theories at Starbase, Texas. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for future streams.
9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
G'day, good morning, good afternoon. My name's Stephanie B. Welcome to RGV Aerial Photography Starbase Weekly episode 187. We managed to get another flight in this week in amongst, once again, some fairly rough weather, but we got an awesome set of photos. Today I've got Alex with me. G'day, Alex.
Hey, Steph. How's everybody doing out in the world?
Actually, today, freezing cold in Australia, and we've got Ryan Webber with us as well from NSF. No.
And of course, my lovely Stream Deck decided to stop slightly working for me to unmute my mic, so that's fun. But hi everyone, how's it going?
Going well. I've had to question myself at NSF then. Okay, well, let's start over at Massey's. Okay, we'll start at the static fire stand, and this week we've got a few little added extras. Now, don't pay attention to this image, that's an illusion. That's actually two different pieces. So we've got 6 new triangle pieces, one of them's there, and we've seen these two pieces before. They're just flat triangles. This piece looks like it's attached, but it's not. We'll come back to that in a minute.
Sorry.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
It's not attached to those yet.
Oh, yet. Okay. Yet. I see. Okay. That's interesting. Cool. And this over here, these looks like they've brought in a couple of accumulators for the actual squeeze arms. So we're still fairly sure that's happening, but there appears to be more than just that this week. I think there's going to be more to this test stand than first thought. I'm not sure yet. This week they've added these two triangles, and they've added them not the way we speculated. We speculated the baskets be on the other side, but they put them this way around, so there still should be a platform there somewhere in between. This week we noticed there's a couple of brackets. Hang on, there's some better photos of that. I'll try this image. There's a couple of brackets in here being welded in, which could have something to do with a little bit of walkway platform through here. And also they've added these, which could be for those accumulator tanks. Not sure what these frames are for. Now I'm looking at it a second time. I'm not sure about that because there's no like floor in them, is there?
Not yet.
Yet another yet.
Yet.
Very good. And okay, we'll look at a top-down photo. I wish I remember the numbers.
Oh, come on. You're missing something on the towers, too. Okay, you got it.
I'll miss heaps of things, trust me. They've added these, I guess, on both sides, but one mounting point for an actuator, and it looks very much like it's another one down there in the process of being created. Any ideas there, Alex, on these ones?
Actuator or a pivot point?
Pivot point, oh, of course, yep.
They're going to put massive actuators on it, weld it to the S39 and shake it like they did with Saturn V. You know, vibration test, right? That'll help them solve it?
Always.
Yeah.
Just weld it to it. Very good.
Yeah, there's two large H-beams on the ground next to the walkway.
Okay, yep. I did see them. Hang on 1 minute. Oh, this photo. Oh, that one will. Actually,
That one works. Yeah, just below that, they're starting to work on them. There's some plates, say, yeah, right there where your hand is. If you zoom in, just to the left of it, there's two H-beams parallel to each other with, yeah.
Oh, these two, so, yep.
Yep, and they're prepping those square plates for probably welding to the end of said beams. So.
Yet more pieces to the puzzle. Cool.
And yeah, it looks like they're building right next to it another one of those little terror baskets, right between those two, next to the pallet. Yeah. And there's parts for another one just above it.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is a contraption and a half.
I reckon.
Seriously. It'll be cool to see how it interacts with the ship. Whenever the ship goes and, gets tested with it.
It's a HLS breakover, Ryan. Come on.
Right. Yeah, right.
HLS breakover. Yeah, that's a new one.
Yeah, not a regular ship breakover. It's only HLS.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. Everything's a breakover now. Everything.
Including something that's actually a breakover will be a breakover. It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't guess. We won't pick as a breakover when it happens, though, will we? We'll think it's something else.
Oh, no. I think the breakover already exists and it's nowhere near it. It's not even at Starbase at all. But that's just me. I don't think they built a breakover. I think they built one, but I don't think they built it here. Because they got that Marmac barge and it just appeared out of nowhere. So I think wherever they got that Marmac barge and wherever they're modifying it, I think that's where the breakover fixture is. And I think it's done and ready. And they're just waiting on vehicles to test it with. That's what I think. But
it's funny. Last night I was looking at the photos. There's one of the barges at the end of Brownsville Channel. I'm like,
yeah.
But it didn't have the side skirts on it. So I'm like, okay. For a hot second, I thought, are they doing something cray-cray and pulling it here?
No, I think it got built in another port dock somewhere, wherever that Marmac barge was. That's where I think it is at. And it'll just one day, 1 week, it'll just show up at the Port of Brownsville, ready to take a ship or booster. It'll just show up.
Well, there'll be a production to port road closures that everybody's going to be confused about first.
It's gonna be like 8 to 10 hours long.
Okay, so in this image we can see that those two pieces are in fact separate. And you think for now, Alex, you think they may be welded together?
The L of the A-frame and the 3 contact points, there's very few places on the structure that you'd have that L-shaped contact patch like those frames they're building have. And all of these A-frames with their strut connecting them seem to currently fit the build. But also that piece you pointed out next to the A-frame they mounted, you could also use one of those as an attachment point for these.
Up on that stand up here. These here?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
And of course, the geometry with looking at these from these angles is brain bending.
I used to get vertigo too. Oh, sorry, it's a sideline. When they show, those guys that climb up those really tall towers and the aerials, that always gives me vertigo too.
Yeah, it's the telecompression, really gets me because you lose your depth cues.
Just while we're over here, there's that's the sideline again. Sorry, but there's water in the trench. So there's evidence they've done some water deluge test, and the comments on show and tell with about this muck all over the tanks. It was kind of hilarious. It looks like
Rust.
An accident.
Rust and mud.
Rust or mud? Yeah, I question whether it was rust as well, or just mud from the dust from the trench, from the fire, from the flame trench.
If they're pumping the water and reusing it and not filtering it, you're gonna get all that fine dust particulate. And depending how long they wait, there'll be some dead algae in it. So, 'cause I don't see any amount of filtration currently set up.
Those 3D triangles, they've called them, are going to the SQD level, says Capstar. The SQD, down here. Now down here there's also, that's right, down here they've added a few things too, or at least one thing anyway, probably on the side.
That's similar to if you look at the attachment point on the A-frames installed further up, they did those sorts of plates.
Yeah, there is too. Yep, there. Hang on, give me a sec.
But yeah, they reinforce between the webs, the flanges and the web, wherever they welded those cross braces.
One second. Wasn't there's two other plates up in here they didn't actually end up using?
Not yet.
Yeah, those plates, yeah.
They'll use them eventually, but not yet.
That one up there, I think, is to do with that other cross brace, which is, again, is also a candidate for one of those triangle pyramids.
Yeah. Yeah, there's still, yeah, it's getting more and more confusing every week, to be honest. So is it? So is this? This is the thing we've sort of asked all the way along. Is this just for the squeeze test, or is it going to be for multiple tests? Like, is all this just involved with the squeeze test? But I kind of think there's going to be more than one test this structure's going to do.
I find it hard to. I know it's SpaceX and they do wacky stuff, but I find it hard to believe they would go through all the trouble of building this thing just to do a single kind of test on a single vehicle. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. My expectation is that this is going to be used to do that test, and then maybe they modify it to be used as a work platform then after the fact. I don't know.
Yeah, because
It'd be that hard to do.
yeah, Steph, if you look at the left platform A-frame, you can see right, if you follow that flange, they have a bit of a doubler towards the basket. Yeah. They use partially for lifting, but they could also be using that if they're welding one of those pyramid frames to it.
Oh, that's a flat I-beam, yeah.
H. Flange, it's a peeve of mine. The flange is different between an I and an H beam, even though everybody calls I-beams, H-beams, I-beams.
But it looks like an I-beam.
So
I-beams, flange plates are different. It's very pedantic.
I'm not familiar with the difference. I apologize there.
You'd be shocked. I'm being pedantic.
What?
Halleck's
No.
being pedantic? No. What?
Say it isn't so.
I am.
What? That sounds like a Hofstadter quote.
It does.
What? And this one, they're kind of different. This one's got like lots of bolts in it. That one's just sort of flat.
Yeah, the upper one looks almost like it's a doubler for the cross member, like a flange.
Yeah.
And if you look around, there's tons of those flange or those gusset plates that they haven't used yet.
Oh, cool. I hadn't noticed lots of them, but I did notice a few of them at least. Okay, so what else for the actual flame trench? We've had a flame trench. We've had looks like a deluge test. We've got some new little blocks added on and some that triangle being added on. We've got some new triangle pieces and some tanks down there.
Yeah, other than that structure, it looks like that that stand and tank farm are ready for 39 whenever it's ready. Other than the truss structure.
Yeah, I've brought it up at show and tell whether they're going to do this squeeze test before cryo testing ship 39 or not. Sort of 50-50 on it now, whether they do this test and the cryo test or vice versa.
I think because there's a couple of different possibilities. One of them takes a lot of extra time. That's if they put 39 on the static fire stand, roll it out, do this squeeze testing whenever it's ready, then roll it back and swap it to the cryo stand once the cryo stand's available. Or you wait for the cryo stand to be available, you roll out 39, do that, then you put engines on it, roll it out on the static fire stand, do everything at the static fire stand, then roll it back. Or the intermediate option is without engines, you roll it out, do the static fire, squeeze testing or whatever you want to call it. Then you use the 11K to move 39 onto the cryo stand while it's at Massey's, do the cryo, and then roll it back on the cryo stand and put engines on it. There's like 3 different ways they could do this, and we don't know which one they're gonna do. It's one of those things.
With 40 showing up, it seems like there's constrained in Mega Bay 2 as 1. I have a feeling it'll be 11K.
Think they'll roll it out on...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They'll roll it on the static fire, do the squeeze. If it needs reinforcement, they might just leave it there for commissioning and do all the changes to 40.
I mean, you can also cryo it, roll it back, do the modifications, and then test the mods when you load it for static fire, basically.
But the mods might be hedging that the mods might be easier to perform on a non-stacked methane and payload section than it is on the finished article as well.
Well, that begs the question on we'll have to see how quickly Ship 40's forward section rolls out. Because if they roll it out and stack it, then it's like, okay, well.
So much for that theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's options. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, because I mean, worst case, it'll just turn into, God, what ship was that? That was Booster 7's guinea pig.
Ship 24.
Yeah,
where they did a 6-engine static fire on suborbital pad B and then realized that the aft dome wasn't reinforced enough. So, because the best place, they didn't really have any work stands back in the day, they kept it on suborbital pad B and built a scaffolding tower around the aft of the vehicle, took off all the tiles and did a massive reinforcement campaign set up on the aft dome, finished it, and then static fired it again.
Yes.
Yep, that
it's been a while since we've seen that level of ingenuity.
Well, these days they can just roll it back and put it on a stand and do whatever they want to it. But back then they didn't have that.
Or modify a ring wall for a static fire adapter.
They do some crazy stuff. Now we'll just thanks, Matt. We'll just move over here quickly and have a look at this new tank. See, they've started plumbing the top of it, and they've added a little bit over here and a little bit of plumbing in between that. So that looks more than just a pipe. That's not just a pipe, is it?
No. They have a high pressure gas feed into the end of it.
There's actually a couple little. Maybe that's just a sensor down there. But this is the high pressure you're talking about, yeah?
Yeah.
Any ideas, Alex?
I have not looked at this yet. You're not the first person to ask me about this, and I'll get the same answer. I was distracted by other things. It goes into the mystery tank.
Oh.
Well, one goes to the top, and the other one goes up and then down again, doesn't it?
One's a siphon, yeah,
Oh, of course, yep.
which is getting back to it's probably some sort of vaporizer, but
We're not sure, and it looks like that's a liquid nitrogen line in here, I think. Is that's tapped into it too? I wonder the other shot shows it better. There's a insulator pipe in here. That one could be liquid nitrogen. It taps in here, this one over here. The other
I
shot's a
haven't
bit better
checked.
at it.
And
Cool.
not all insulated lines necessarily indicate they're carrying a liquid. You'll
Okay, cool.
sometimes use the just vaporized gas that's, barely above its saturation temperature so that you can use that cold gas stream where, any sort of pressurized, you get pressurizing a tank or whatnot, you can use its cold to absorb some of that heat.
Okay, I'm not sure I can trace it further yet, but yeah, it does. Seems to go over into that general area there somewhere.
Yeah, I haven't checked to see if they still have this tank plumb for with the trucks to fill it, or if they backed it back to a main fill area.
They
It
might
kinda
have
looks like
routed
it's
it.
still-
They might have routed it through the new cryo trench. It's possible. But
But mainly because with the COPV testing station, that was where they were having the trucks do their drop off. Yeah, you can see the water unload station. But looking at it, it looks like it's still set up for they're probably still filling it with the trucks. They just move the lines a bit.
Just to confuse us a little bit.
And that line might
Okay.
be just the outlet that's going to that skid. Yeah.
Does seem to be that line. Okay. I want your report on my desk by tomorrow night, please. No, I'm only kidding. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, what that is for, and whether it's to do with the water deluge system, I guess, because it's sitting there, but not nowhere near, not necessarily. Could have something to do with something else. All right, let's move on from the flame trench. Let's have a quick look at 39.1. Added bonus this week, they've attached a QD plate, and they've attached it, well, looks like it's been attached to the frame. So there was one question whether this is the start of the new QD arm system, which I don't think so. I don't think they do it that way around, like actually kind of working backwards, but I think this is just something to do with the testing. I don't know. And since last week, they've added this other docking bit of hardware over here, the drogue. I don't get why you call it a drogue yet. So 39 is going to continue to be tested.
Probe and drogue, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, one side is a probe. It basically like a oh man, I gotta have to find the words for this off the top of my head. But I one way or the other, one side basically inserts and expands into it. The probe inserts and expands into the drogue side, which latches in and docks. Yeah, it's been called a probe and drogue forever, and it's used on many different things, like aerial refueling, mainly of that's Navy aircraft. The Navy aircraft usually use that probe and drogue system. The Air Force aircraft use a boom system. But it's also been used forever in space flight, especially old Soyuz and Apollo. Gemini used probe and drogue system. This is just it's a simple, easy system for SpaceX to use to dock their vehicles together, rather than trying to come up with a separate androgynous system where you can dock to anything. Because trying to come up with something like that can work with a vehicle of that size is not necessarily that easy.
Yeah, and it greatly simplifies guidance since you have a much larger target, and it steers the the latching mechanisms together.
Cool, thanks for that. Okay, so that's 39. We can see that's why we're here, actually. We can see the ship aft section. I did say ship, then I promise.
It's a skirt, really.
Yeah, the skirt section. Sorry, yeah, for the interstage test for 18.3. It's one of those days, Ryan's, when you say words. Words are hard some days.
Almost like an interstage.
The hot stage
the skirt
truss.
is kind of like one, yeah.
Especially with the truss.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it really is like an interstage, isn't it? Yeah, except in like Apollo on that interstage ring would be ejected, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like on the S4B or the S2, basically the skirt would be ejected during stage separation. They'd separate the S2 would separate from the S1C. Engines would ignite. The 5J2s would ignite, and then shortly after pulling away, they'd eject the skirt section and go. Same thing with the S4B.
I just love that footage of it tumbling away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, no, wait. The S4B was inside of the J2 was inside of a fairing on top of the S2 because it went from lowered in diameter. So yeah, it was mainly the skirt section on the S2 that was jettisoned and chucked away. Can you imagine if Starship did that? It just chucked the skirt away.
You mean like
just chuck it? Sorry.
Hot stage ring?
Read my mind. Yeah, I just read my mind like a hot stage ring.
Yeah.
Drop it like they're hot.
No, I mean like the ship separates from the Block 3 booster and it jettisons 2 rings of stainless steel. Just throws it away.
So this bit of speculation here, I guess this test tank 18 or the 18.3, sorry. Test tank 17, isn't it? 18. Anywho, could be bolted 19. Could be bolted onto this. And maybe that stand is they'll cut it in half here and maybe put like a bare barrel section on this ring. Perhaps. It'd be nice to see that dome if they did that here. I guess a lot of questions we had in show and tell is, could they, once again, like with 18, could they cut this and reuse it? Which, once again, it's pretty hard to do a very accurate cut, so maybe not.
but more importantly, why? They seem to be
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
adept at kicking out articles as needed.
Yeah, scrap them, yeah. I think, Ryan, you had some insight on this test article and its failure. Did you want to share that?
Yeah, I think this was actually intentional. But of course, SpaceX isn't going to confirm or deny any such thing. Yeah.
Fair enough.
They don't
Thank you.
seem very concerned, and they're
No, if they were really concerned, they would have taken this thing off right away. You would have seen them scramble, get rid of it. No. They have not been concerned at all getting rid of it. So, which kind of tells me that they meant to do it.
yeah. I think it was a nice to have, just because the lower ring sections were nowhere near reinforced as much as most of their crush articles. So
So,
I think they're
sorry.
go on.
For this to not have any damage to the point that they could buckle a ring section like this, I mean, it's not pressurized down there. Would they have been able to put the appropriate amount of stress on this? Would it break, if you know what I mean? Because this isn't pressurized down here. It's not as strong as a pressurized vessel.
Don't forget that on the inside of those vessels, they have the common dome stand-in that is supported by their actuators for when they're doing the testing for the transfer tube.
So I could have had part of the loads supported by those actuators, perhaps. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
That if the only thing they were testing was everything north of the common dome, everything south was sort of just a placeholder.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 18, and I had already removed all them. Just quickly jump over here. This X-frame we saw over near the. I've got to go over there in a second too. Has had added things added to it. These H beams or I beams? Now I'm confused. You got me all confused now. And you're huffed about it.
Just assume all of them are H beams.
Okay, so we just call everything an I beam in Australia. Now they're that funny angle again. I was only going to call you Lawrence then, Alex, and on that, I just had the photo. I needed to. Dang it! On this frame here, there's some scratch marks that look like they could be for that.
Yeah, they're all of it's. They all point into the central radius, so they're pointing to the center of the test stand.
I wonder if they're still going to try to test the grid fin stuff after crushing that thing.
I don't think this was ever intended for a grid fin test. I think that was just
They put a lot of stuff into those grid fin sockets, though. A lot of test equipment.
They could have been testing how they would fare with the pressure of the hot stage ring, since they're in the load path, and any deformation that you would have in that section of the barrels would affect the grid fins placements. I mean, their positioning. So that the truss, the top dome, and the grid fins are all one structurally tied assembly, essentially. They're all being subjected to the maximum load. The grid fins are probably near the highest point loads at least on the vehicle.
So we might expect another, because of this work continuing here, we may expect another test tank to be sitting on this soon, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, the way the structure is set up, they'd only been able to test the middle grid fin. The two outer ones that they're doing the catching and everything else aren't in that load path that stand is currently configured with.
Yeah, I always found that a little bit confusing myself, Alex, to be honest. That, yeah, they weren't kind of quite. I mean, it's sort of lined up with maybe two of them, but definitely not this one.
No, it's. I think people just speculation it fit, but correlation doesn't necessarily equal causation.
Sure, and this one doesn't actually line up at all in this image. It's sort of like up to the side, isn't it?
Yes.
In fact, it's more off to the side than it looks because we rotate the camera just a little bit that way around again, it'll make it straight. It'll actually be even further over here.
Yeah, if you follow the stringer welds down to the mount plate.
It doesn't line up at all. Cool. Okay. And didn't they roll a tank from the build site last night too?
No, they rolled a 1,000 cubic meter LOX tank from the port to Massey's.
Oh, that's
ranking
okay. Yeah, yeah.
production
I misread
segments.
Okay, yeah, thanks. I misread the chat. Yeah, thank you.
It's probably going to the launch site and just visiting Massey's.
There's another closure to Massey's tonight for port to
Yeah,
Massey's.
there's another tank just like that at the port, ready to roll.
Well, they're just appearing from thin air, basically, at the port.
Well, when we get to the launch site.
So they cleaned all this area up. So yeah, we've speculated, Chantel, this is just a temporary parking spot for that new tank.
Yeah, and those
What if?
Yes.
What if they got sick
no.
and tired of their nasty, gnarly LN2 side of the tank farm, decided to redo the whole thing? I mean, you need a drill rig to show up, but
That's true. The ports on those LOX tanks are different than any of the previous tanks they're using. I mean, I think there's 4 or 5 6-inch outs, and most of them, the tanks that have shipped, only have 1, maybe 2 6-inch outlets.
So they have the 2 tanks that are there, and then the new 2 tanks that are coming, and that's going to be the 4 that they have right next to the methane spot, which we'll see later. But
yeah, but there's embeds for at least 1.5, so probably 2 tanks that haven't been installed. So we'll see that later as well.
Okay. Now I can see that this photo showing this area here. Nice, exactly the right size, one of those sort of tanks.
Or 2 of them, because they have the 8 temporary pipe stands next to the methane tank. Yeah.
Yep, 2 tanks. Yep. They were supposed to show up in here, those images, for some reason they didn't. All right, cool. Oh, they did show up. There you go. Look at that.
This bonus gallery.
Yeah, just a couple of Massies that are in the bonus gallery. Yeah, really nice wide angle shot. Little billabong over here.
That'd be a great test area over there.
Over here.
Now the billabong.
Ah, looks a bit like Massey's, doesn't it? Okay. Now, we'll continue on at Massey's here at the front of the site here. Like, yay, finally. Looks like 18.1's getting removed.
Just about everything is I think just about everything is disconnected at this point. So
Yep.
Yeah.
just got to take the
These
cap
ran-
off.
Yeah. So I think you're saying before the show, Ryan, that these were in the tank when it arrived, weren't they? The inner rods and that.
Yep, those were installed at the build site.
So the angled rams have been removed. These rams should stay. I think they were attached. We've seen them before. These stay attached to the cap when they remove it.
Yeah.
And those little wheels, when they put it down, they can wheel them out. You know, you know what I mean. They'll wheel over this way by themselves.
Finally,
yeah, I
after
reckon it's been
16
there.
tests, and it's been in there
like
since like May 12th.
I was going to say for like 16 years.
16 years.
5 minutes later. What'd you say? Since what? How long? 9 months ago?
May 12th, 2025 is when it was placed inside the crusher. It almost did as many tests as the number that it is test tank. One short.
Oh, concrete.
Yeah, there's a boatload of conduit in there.
More
Tesla
megapacks.
packs. Oh, yeah, mega packs, yeah.
Probably.
Now, they were doing some concreting over here near the cryo stand area 2, I believe. Over here, they've added a bit of new concrete here. Man, look at the state of this concrete in here, my goodness.
Yeah, they might have just been doing a patch.
I just want to say that the concrete, some of that concrete has had to deal with the explosion of a ship and the shrapnel of a booster. So I'm not surprised it's a little dinged up.
They never did
knew
much ground prep under any of this concrete.
Yeah, this is where the tent was.
Yeah.
This is where the tent was when it got all burnt too. It looks like the concrete didn't fare very well under that as well.
That's just pockmarked and cratered like crazy.
It'll buff out.
I sort of assumed this was to do with 36's explosion over here. But I've learned not to assume too much. Subjects.
And
okay.
yeah, right by that building, your favorite, a more back-pulled power. You can't see it in this to the left side of that structure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They rewiring.
There's that temp distribution hub that they have. That looks like it's tied into. That can't be. That can't be code, but
Doesn't matter.
What are they doing? Okay.
I think they just for the work they're doing by the mega packs, I think they just had to wire around it.
Okay, cool. Okay, we've got Indy with us to. Sorry, Alex. It'll buff out.
There's two things I don't know if over in the storage area over here that I don't know if we're going to touch on.
Over here?
Yeah. If you have a water shot of that. Up on the upper third, there's that gray ring, right? Just to see, yeah, that probably matches that mystery stacks they have over at Sanchez.
Oh, let me just quickly glance at that, actually. Yeah. Huh. That's interesting.
And then down at the bottom of this frame by where the grill and stuff is, there's yeah, by that little baby crane, there's those 5 box rectangles that probably match the top of the Super Crusher legs.
Ah, an extension on top.
Perhaps.
Because, yeah, they were always like they can continue, except we kind of expected something more substantial than those little weeny things.
You know, I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
It's like 2 meters.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's enough to put another ring. It's enough to have another ring.
Interesting.
For something.
I still have this other ring too. Still haven't worked out why they need 2 blue rings either yet.
They have 2 stands that can utilize it now to test.
Yeah, I guess it's probably just that simple. Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's the same reason they're going to have 2 sets of pumps for pad A and B.
Speaking of pumps, that sort of leads me to see there's no still haven't added pumps to this LOX system. Oh, that is something they did, didn't they? They moved this container from over here and they've made a probably more permanent storage area for these rods over here. Get them out of the way. They've moved these pieces over here from away from there as well.
Oh, I wonder what could sit on that old stand.
This thing.
Uh-huh. Yep.
For reasons.
For reasons.
I mean, they rolled that ring stand rather than its stand the other night, so yeah.
Interesting. Okay, we've got Indy with us again today for donations and questions. So let's run through a few of those, please.
Sure. First, we'd like to thank Jap Kuipers, who donated $25, said new fuel, new month. Then we got a gifted membership from Astro Joe. Thank you, Astro Joe. Sharpie donated $5 and said, oh, yes, I'm helping with the fuel. Then Todd came in with $10 and said, did someone say fuel? Yazada donated $10 and says, I'm in. And then Mauricio, on behalf of YouTube, donated 5 gifted memberships twice for a total of 10 gifted memberships. Congratulations to everybody who was a recipient. And the $5 donation from Joe Coyote Man. Thank you, sir. And then we have lots of questions. Ari asks, do you think they will ever build a booster static fire stand at Massey's?
No. They don't have water or room for its necessary infrastructure.
Or the requirement, really. I mean, the OLM does quite well at that job.
And they'll have 2 sooner than later.
Unless you want to build a B2 test stand.
Thank you. Mark's wondering, do we know if these type of test stands are being built in Florida?
No, Florida isn't to that level yet.
Well, they don't really, they can prove things here anyway for Florida, can't they?
Yeah,
Correct.
But once they start building vehicles in Florida, they're going to have to prove it in Florida, right? Otherwise, you have to ship it here and then ship it back, which is wildly inefficient.
But just doing their puck tests and cars work, they won't need all of these structural tests as long as they keep this as their primary R&D site.
Oh, you mean these test stands, Ryan? Perhaps.
Florida would need those and static fire for the ship.
Yeah. Thanks, Cindy.
I got a couple more for you. Robert's wondering, would SpaceX ever make a causeway from the production site to the Brownsville Seaway and build their own dock port to save on road closures?
Good luck getting that approved.
Yeah, and
It'd be-
spending the money to dredge a trench, a canal. That's a lot.
Yeah, a canal would be cheaper than a causeway or viaduct.
That's a
'Cause
fairly sensitive area there too, isn't it, though?
Yeah, I mean, in the road plan, there was, I think, a couple mile viaduct that was one of the ideas was kicked around for Highway 4, except they dropped it because I think it was probably approaching 200 million. But yeah, you couldn't go they wouldn't let you dredge the South Bay. And
I
a
mean,
lot
like
of protected.
yeah, yeah, the turtles. You can't hit the turtles, and all that port infrastructure is already here. And I think Zach might have even brushed on the idea this was actually maybe even originally the connector road, maybe even for actual transport of vehicles from Texas to Florida, even. Thanks, Indy.
Aspen's wondering, do you think there should be a blast wall from the GSC and tanks right next to the flame trench?
Not sure what it would achieve. That the spatial distance isn't.
Fairly blast
Fair.
proof. Like that's all blast proof. Does have a blast wall. Like there's a certain amount of sacrificial plumbing here that's not really an issue.
And the energy as explosion dissipates. Was that a square rule or is that just a normal power rule? I think it's a square.
Yeah, being radiating around a circle, I would imagine it's a square rule, just off the top of my head.
And Aspen's referring to the big tanks right next to the flame trench.
Those are just water tanks. I don't believe that the cocktails are using has enough energy density, because even when that 36 went, there's only a tiny actual detonation. Most was a deflagration, so most of it was just a fireball.
Very impressive fireball at that.
I mean, it's put a little det cord in a bag of gasoline and blow that, which is the old Hollywood trick for making very impressive looking fireballs. You atomize.
Oh.
Yeah.
You give me ideas.
I mean, it's fun. I'll say that.
And the water tanks did actually survive 36's little mishap anyway. So, I mean, they got a little tiny bit of charring on the edge, but that was about it. So, I suppose I think that's still not in any real danger.
And the scheme of things, those tanks are not that expensive, and they're fairly easy to get. They're standard tanks that are available all over the Gulf Coast for the petrochemical industry.
You've given them an idea to upgrade the water deluge pump to the new gas generator system, haven't you? By not protecting it. Is that what's going on?
The system's no moving parts for the most part. The shells of those heat exchangers are very strong. The other system is a bit more delicate than this one.
See, that gives that. Actually, there's a question there. Did you see the water leak in that heat exchanger? Spoken about heat exchangers. Do you think it's a water leak or I can't quite see it in this image. There's a flow of water down below that heat exchanger.
I'm sure it's just a flange.
Which image showed it? Not that one. We'll keep going with the question until I find it.
Just looking at all the rust on those pipes have been leaking since they were installed, and smear some JB Weld on
showed it. Yeah, there it is, in that little leak down there or whatever. We did notice another pipe sitting on the concrete wall. Maybe there's a pipe comes along. Maybe it's some kind of outflow, drainage or something.
I mean, they might want to be they might be draining that water manifold. No, they really can't because it.
And that's a super light stream for them to be draining with.
A bleed line, essentially.
But a tiny little constant stream like that, it's a bleed line that you're going to drain with?
I mean, if it's a low point, it doesn't. It's just how much water that would be. But it looks like it's more than likely just one of the flanges is askew especially from where it's dripping from.
Oh, leak here. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just dribbling around the tank and dropping off.
Yeah, I mean, you can just look all over those tanks at the spray pattern. There's a whole lot of leakage.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Cindy.
We just want to thank Cosmic for the $5 donation. And they said, thank you for all you do. Cheers. And then I have 4 more questions for you.
I appreciate
Jeremy's
that feedback.
curious. Yeah, Jeremy's curious. Was the failure on the test tank ever confirmed as an accident, issue discovered, or intentional test to failure?
Well, we're never going to know officially. We can only speculate on that, to be honest.
Elon's tweet came after, so that would be as close to indication for me that it was a non-issue.
Thanks,
Okay.
Cindy.
And then Drew's wondering, how long did it take them to investigate Booster 18 versus Test Tank 18?
If by Test Tank 18, are they referring to this one? And if it was a test to failure, there'd be no real investigation.
Yeah. Booster 18, my guess was it's considering how quickly they put together 19. I think that investigation was pretty cut and dry. They know exactly what happened. Will we ever know what happened? Probably not. They may give us a hint in the Flight 12 update drop, but otherwise, we'll probably never know what happened to that thing.
The addition to the COPV testing kind of points to.
Yeah.
Sharpie's curious, will the middle grid fin be on the windward side for the descent?
Yes.
It'll act like a rudder. It'll be on the bottom of the booster. So
that will be the windward side when it's coming back.
It's not. No, the windward side of the booster is the aft, technically speaking. Because the booster isn't coming down horizontal like the ship is. The booster goes down with an angle of attack, and the aft is more considered the windward side, in my opinion. Basically, the booster flies like a plane headed down in some ways, but no, it doesn't, because it doesn't really generate lift, so it doesn't fly like a plane. I don't think there's really a windward side. Basically, it just acts like a rudder, almost like a ship rudder, because it's on the ventral side of the booster on the way down. So
So the booster doesn't drop vertical. It's sort of like on a slight angle, maybe 10, 20 degrees off vertical. And I think they're asking that the bottom side, that I know it's not horizontal, but it's not vertical either, is it?
and I think they're going to do pretty high AOA with this new booster. The transfer tube kind of the larger transfer tube and whatnot really points to that they want to do a higher AOA, because I think the reason why 14 died is I think they snapped the transfer tube on 14 when they did the high angle of attack reentry. So that's, Block 3 having the bigger transfer tube is going to solve that issue. So they'll be able to do a high angle of attack. So they'll kind of they'll try to use it as a rudder and use the chines as a lifting device to come back in so they can glide farther. Quote unquote glide. Using that term very, I don't know, but yeah.
I mean,
it does fly. You're right. The booster does fly, like in air quotes.
I mean, a modern fighter jet has a wing loading of a brick, so
Yeah.
Shuttle 2 was it in quotes glided as well. It didn't glide it glad.
It did. Shuttle glided a lot more than Super Heavy ever will.
Oh, of course,
So,
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, capsules glide.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
They are a lifting body.
Yeah, they fly.
Yeah, more so than a booster is, but yeah.
Yeah.
I got two more for you. Crane Man's wondering, could they be using the data of the last ship doing those crazy maneuvers to replicate the same forces in that large test cage?
I don't think that large test cage has anywhere near the capability to do any kind of those loads on that vehicle. Like the loads that a ship experienced when it comes in at supersonic to transonic to subsonic speeds while turning through the atmosphere, there's no real way to replicate that other than flying it, or a subscale model in a wind tunnel, basically.
Yeah, your rigid attachment points make it those dynamic loadings. You can test like the hinge mounts and how the forces get introduced into the structure that way, but it won't be these are just sort of unit and not really full integration tests. And that harbors back to the whole calibrating your design models with these test tanks, so that you can do more of the simulation in a computer, so that you have a faster closing the iteration cycles.
And then the last one in this section. What is that tank that was brought into Massey's last night from Meg?
The white one is a giant bulk. It's labeled as a Lux tank, but any of the tanks that regime with the right porting, you can pretty much choose which cryogenic liquid. Helium and hydrogen would be a bit different for other reasons, but as far as like what SpaceX is using here was Lin, Lux, and LNG, you can almost interchange the three of them.
So they could use that LOX tank for methane, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And put it in here. But it's more than likely going to the launch site though and just being temporarily stored here.
Yeah.
But can the tank take it? Is it like built? Is it like cryo fit enough for it to be cold enough for the methane? If it's meant for LOX?
Methane is LOX has a lower envelopes than methane does. That's why everybody gets
darn it.
excited worrying about methane in the transfer tube freezing.
Oh. And I got one last one while we were talking.
Go for it.
Lev is asking, when do you think S-39 will go to Massey's test site, considering SpaceX said that B-19 will align with the S-39 test schedule?
Soon.
Next week.
Soon
Soon.
TM.
It should be out here by mid-February. So 2 weeks tops.
Right on. Thank you guys for answering all the questions, and thank you all for the donations and the generosity.
All right. Let's give me one to Sanchez. So that was an hour at Massey's. That's good. Good way to kill some time. Okay.
We're not killing
Sanchez.
time. Sorry.
Sanchez. Sanchez is a little slow this week. Not much to do here. Not much to talk about really here. That was very interesting, that ring to do with that. That's very interesting observation there, Alex.
Yeah, the ears on that and how they're pointed in kind of lead to the piece that it's for nose cone testing.
And possibly in the nose cone jail, or perhaps they're going to reconfigure the super crusher.
There's a reason that birdcage has not been scrapped.
Yeah, agreed. I've been saying that all along. There's a reason this birdcage is still the nose cone jail is still there. Yeah.
Just validating what you've said for the last 18 months.
It's been a while. Yeah. Sometimes things I say come true. A lot of times they don't. But thanks for the validation. I appreciate it. Okay, nothing new with the stands here. That stand has been sort of mostly finished off. Haven't started any new ones still yet. There's not much going on in the stand, the department. I kind of thought this stand might be the one that rolled to the launch site, but it wasn't. It was the other one. Which we can actually leads us into what happened over here. They took... Oh, that's not the shot I'm looking for. That's the shot. That'll do for now. They end up taking booster 18's aft off this transport stand, and it moved launch site for a little bit of integration with the new tower, I guess you could say. While it was at the launch site, they moved the clamps in and out a number of times.
Oh. I didn't realize it had the different feet on it.
And they didn't use these. It looks like they used these because these have been moved around since last week. They're kind of speculating they attach these to the SPMTs and somehow that integrates with the new base. So different feet. These feet?
They just look different to me because I'm used to... I thought they had the old style at one point. The more of the rectangular ones, but...
Okay, yeah. No, pretty sure.
I think I was wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There's some more odd bits and pieces coming, being here.
Breakover.
Everything's a breakover lately.
That batch cement truck breakover.
Now you're just getting ridiculous.
Steph breakover. Yeah.
Static
no,
fire stand is looking kind of complete-ish. Or, I mean, sorry, it's had its things added to the sides down there. It's things. It's little horizontal thingamajiggamies, you know. Still got clamps and a few things to go. What's that?
It's a breakover fixture.
Yes. It's
Or-
they're gonna make a Megatron and it's a throwing star.
Ooh.
That would be amazing.
Hey.
No, that's a large sized flux capacitor. So you can heat 1.21 gigawatts, and you can hit 88 miles an hour, and serious stuff starts to happen. That's
Gets
what
real.
that is. I think it's real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I've got that song stuck in my head.
Going back in time.
Oh, now I've got that song stuck in my head. No, it's talking just the main music.
There's that other weird bit. Between
Other
this
weird
and
bit?
the there's a one in between this and the static fire stand.
Maybe here's something. Yeah, this is probably the best shot I think we've got of this weird bit. It kind of looks like is that the lower mounting what the LOX landing tank sits on?
Yes. Yeah, because the tube coming out is with the bellows on it is a methane, comes from the methane QD.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, methane QD there, and the LOX QD would have been here somewhere.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I think I need a different shot to what you're saying. Is that what you
Right.
meant, or is there something else?
In the shadow, right by the crane, up further.
Oh, that thing. That's right. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's the.
That actually did have kind of breakover looking, but I think what Ryan has said about it already being built where the barge is, I think, has got a lot of merit, to be honest. All these crazy little things too.
Hey, we're not going to let reality interfere with crazy speculation.
That's not how we roll.
Not at
More
all.
crazy little things. Well, that's not quite 9 meters, so that's not to roll a ship on or two, so it's not that.
Where would they have two parallel pipes or tubes? That would need a jig.
Ah, yeah. Fish?
Somewhere over the rainbow.
For their unicorn breeding program?
Sure.
Oh, you didn't know about that. Sorry.
Please make me giggle. When you see my mouse or the image doing this, it means I'm giggling.
And now that stand is at Massey's with a booster on it that in about 15 hours will break Booster 18's record of being intact at Massey's. So once it hits about 5 a.m. Central Time tonight, it'll have broken the record. It'll have broken 18's record. So, yeah.
Credence in chat. I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Adam Savage, one of my favorite shows ever. Mythbusters. When in doubt, C4.
And would have they used this SPMT for the tank that got moved? Was one, or maybe
One
for
of them.
the
Yeah.
launch site to move the ones at the launch site?
It went to Massey's.
A 28 axle SPMT is what they were rolling out there.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. That's it. There's nothing more on that end of it except the engine.
I swear, when 18 or 36 blew up, like if 36 blew up and I was out at that launch site, I would have gone down to the ground and picked up. There's your problem. That's what I would have done. Because it's too good.
There's your
Obviously.
problem, right there.
But
Here's the
concrete.
quote. This week's quote of concrete. Yep. I'm thinking sometimes we had a bit of trouble with the pool concrete. Sometimes our pool concrete's a bit of a special mix, though. They had trouble with some of the road building too, without making pre-stressed concrete spans in the middle of a heat wave. Sometimes the heat does funny things to concrete. I'm wondering, like at Massey's too, or here, there's sort of odd bits and pieces that were poured like on a really hot day, and maybe that didn't quite set properly and crack. Or the concrete guys got bored.
They've been putting in different vaults and stuff as well.
Okay, yep. Probably more of that then.
And yeah, ground prep, I don't think most of the site got it.
Thought they're prepping for perhaps some more mega packs here. There are some spare transformers here, but they're kind of similar, but kind of a little bit different to those ones we noticed. But I mean, still, they are transformers. I think that box with the bollards here, I've got an idea that box stays there, just as a guess. 1, 2, 3, 4 more transformers, so maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, they're doing some work here. Over here, they've so we speculated those brackets were just to help weld this ring together, and it appears that we're actually correct on that speculation. So they've taken those off, and it's welded together. I know I have a closer shot. I'm just being a bit lazy. And they started to, as Rolling Stones would say, they started to paint it black. This thing over here painted black, not that. Now, like I said, there's not much to cover at Sanchez really this week.
Yeah, and they put the work platforms next to the grid fin actuator mount on that struct. Presume grid fin mount.
Up here.
Maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's got something. Is that
Yeah.
something new in there too?
It's been there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does look like a grid fin mount, yeah.
Yeah.
And then a
there's
couple of actuator. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and there's a couple shots, lower angle. Maybe it was a different, where it's at least a lot more obvious that you could come in with a grid fin in the motor assembly side and sort of just lower it in. How the
1 second.
end of it dips down enough to probably give you just enough clearance.
Clarence? Yeah. Oh, yeah, this end, yeah. Dips
Yeah.
down enough. Oh, I see the dip. Yeah, I see what you mean, yeah. It's quite a fair distance there, actually. If you take that straight across.
Yeah, if you count the rungs on that ladder, it's like, oh, yeah, that is a fairly massive structure.
Yeah, it's hard to get scale sometimes, that's for sure, in these photos.
Well, what's that 9-meter ring right next to it? It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, true, yeah. They seem to have wrapped up platform manufacture, so they've probably all been built and assembled and installed now into the mega bays.
Time to get
There's a
started on
whole-
Gigabay.
A whole truckload of stands there.
We're still assembling something. It looks right by the fence, but
Doesn't look like a platform. Yeah, but they seem to be doing something there, yeah. That's just scaffolding, I'm assuming.
yep.
Okay. Let's just zoom out. So, any questions or anything we missed? Any questions for Sanchez there, Indy?
Couple of questions for you. Ray Leeson is wondering, is it possible SpaceX are testing 18.3 test tank from the point of whether the thrust from the Raptor 3 would affect the unpressurized lower section on separation?
Which would be unpressurized at separation.
None of it would be unpressurized at separation. That'd be really, really bad if it was.
Yeah, the
That'd be
Raptor's built
bad.
to the bottom of the booster. That's on the other side of a pressurized dome, and the same on the ship. The Raptor's built to the bottom end of a pressurized dome. So the only thing that's not pressurized really is the ship skirt and the ship payload bay area.
And the hot stage truss area. If the LOX tank were not pressurized on the booster, we'd have problems. That means your autonomous pressurization is not working, and you don't have any LOX left. Basically,
You'd see a spectacular failure of at least one Raptor when their turbo pumps came apart from cavitation. From not enough pressure above suction.
Stephen Lewis is asking, where is B20?
in pieces in the Star Factory. Maybe.
And then we want to thank
My
Go on.
multivitamin? I don't know.
It might get started stacking this week, next week.
Yeah, soon. Soon.
I
soon,
would-
soon.
I would assume that they will do a pressure test tonight on 19, and then it's going to do cryos throughout the week. Because I honestly think they're going to do several cryos on this one. It's not going to be just the two they normally do. I think they're going to do several out of it because it's a new booster, and they're going to want to test, the transfer tube, the landing tank, both tanks, do all the shenanigans on that. And then once all that is done, I think they'll go, okay, we got the data we need. It looks good. Start booster 20. I think that's what they'll do.
Or here we go again.
Or here we go again. Here we go again.
Oh, don't.
Yes. Then you can sing Booster 20's back again.
I
Alright.
don't mean don't sing. I mean,
I'm
don't
getting-
put a song in my head.
I'm getting songs stuck in Stephanie's head. It's great today. It's I'm on a roll.
You're the earwig
I-
king.
I bet Indy is suffering from that same plight too, Ryan.
I'm not listening. Don't worry. I'm not listening to Webby. I've selectively turned him off for that purpose when he talks about songs. So Drew Nar, we want to thank for his $5 Canadian dollar donation, and they're wondering when Starship 35 by 9, the biscuits and the fuel. That's what he gave the $5 donation for. Thank you so much. We genuinely appreciate that. And then I got another couple of questions for you. Why does SpaceX need to send Starship boosters via barges as opposed to flying them to KC? That's a question from Dominic.
You can fly ships, but you can't fly boosters. The ship you could the lovely thing about a Starship stack is you could fly a ship and fly a mission, like a Starlink mission or a tanker mission, and then just have it come back to the Cape when your orbits line up. The booster, on the other hand, has no heat shield, doesn't have the Delta V, doesn't have many of things to get it from Starbase to the Cape, because you have to remember that's across the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, it wouldn't survive that trip, and good luck getting the FAA to try to sign off on that flying over Tampa and Orlando. Even if it were capable of doing such a thing, it's easy just to transport it.
It would break up.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you'd lob it. Ballistically, it probably would have enough. But yeah.
But with a ship, it only gets to about here and back, doesn't it? It doesn't really go very far at all. It's only
It doesn't. Even if you took the ship off and fully fielded, I don't even know if it would make it. And even if it did, the apogee of your arc would be into space, and then the booster basically has to re-enter, and it doesn't have a heat shield to withstand that, so it would just break up and explode in the atmosphere.
It wouldn't have that much energy to dispute.
Yeah.
I mean, because it'd be following ballistic trajectory that was a high loft, so it doesn't have a lot of translational energy that you'd burn off, but it still just dropping in, hitting the upper atmosphere would probably break it up because it isn't designed for hypersonic entry. Even
there's
if it
no
would
need. Oh,
No.
sorry. I did it again. Sorry.
Oh no! If you get Spice Girl stuck in my head, I'll fly down and murder you with my bare hands.
Oops, she did it again.
Oh, goodness.
Oops.
Okay, sorry. Mac UK is wondering what, with, and where will Gridfin Twister be used? What's Gridfin Twister?
The
It's the
potential
structure.
ibuprofen 2.0.
Ah, thank you.
Wait,
That's a
we're
good
gonna play
name
the
for
game. Are we gonna play the game Twister on a Gridfin? Is that what we're doing?
Where's the spinner?
Yeah, right.
So maybe just to test the actuator rather than or maybe to test some of the structure too of the grid pin, because there's a RAM attachment point there and there, or even there as well. So they could or they might just be rods too. They might not even be rams, and then they could make the motor, work and test the actual drive mechanism too for a grid pin rather than actually test the grid pin.
Yeah, the gloves they put at the end does not make a whole lot of sense.
No.
Yeah. Unless it's going to be a lifting point. Well, they have the lifting points there, and then if you look, yeah.
We missed the question. When Starship 35x9, so booster with 35 engines, and I guess they're saying this was Drew with that donation earlier, and Starship with 9 engines. Not sure about the 35 and the booster because of the new Raptor, but the 9-engine Starship, that's interesting when that's going to happen.
Block 4.
I mean,
is what it'll be when they go to stretch the ship and the booster again, and they need Gigabay to do that. So that's when it'll happen.
And for 35, it's more of probably what Raptor 4, how close it can get its actual output to, if they need to increase. Because, I mean, they have two ways, increasing chamber pressure. The bell size of the Raptor sea levels are fairly fixed with the geometry of the 9 meters for the outer 20. So if you can't get chamber pressure up enough to get your mass flow up, then your next step is, well,
Rote.
your area coverage, and adding those 2 additional would pretty much hit almost as dense as you could pack Raptors in that diameter.
You could try messing with the throat, but you also might
Yeah.
have to then run into cooling issues, and that presents a whole other can of worms to try to work through. And I don't think SpaceX already ran into that issue once. They opened the throat up on Raptor 2, and then they had a whole host of cooling problems that they had to solve. And in fact, they only finally really solved those on R3, I think, because they had to introduce a bunch of film cooling in R2. So you lost ISP. I think they lost a little more ISP than they wanted to on the engine. But I think they fixed some of that on R3. But yeah, I think their best bet is to get their chamber pressure up. And the whole thing with 35 engines, I would say this is, it says it in the EIS, but the only reason it's in the EIS is to be as a possibility, not that they're ever actually planning to do it. There's a lot of things in those EISs that are something that may never actually happen, but it's on there. Like, I don't know, the fact that the ASU was supposed to be in the launch site itself at Starbase, and it's not now.
Well, 39A's has a fun Easter egg in their EIS, which the amount of water they plan to use per day.
It's a lot.
They're 137,000 gallons. The 137 is the Easter egg.
And then I have one last question for you from Geo, and this is a Webby favorite, I think. Is the Starship Moonlander being built here or in Florida? Blue Origin appears to be ahead of SpaceX unless we get a surprise unveiling.
Well, they only have one factory. I'll just say that, and it's in Boca. They don't have a factory. They don't have a gigabit. They don't have anything in Florida to build a Starship facility. Hangar X2 is Falcon now. The original Star Factory at Roberts Road is now all Falcon, other than the backside, which is now a bakery for Starship tiles. But I would assume that they have components for HLS in that factory somewhere in there. Eventually they'll appear. Be my guess. Eventually.
And didn't Blue Origin stop their suborbital hops so that they have more manufacturing space for their lander?
Well, I think that's part of it. I also think that New Shepard wasn't really that financially stable or worth it. So
Well, they learned what they needed to.
Yeah, that was a stepping stone, and they've landed a new Glen, and who cares what New Shepard does anymore? So that's basically it. Yeah.
And yeah, at least for me personally, Blue Origin, I take a lot of what they say with a grain of salt right now.
They are working on so many projects, it's ridiculous. And the amount of infrastructure projects they're working on at their campus is ridiculous. But I also take things what SpaceX says with a grain of salt at times too. I know we had that HLS update. What was that, November or something along those lines? I think it was. I would expect that around Flight 12, maybe even during the Flight 12 stream, they may give an announcement on it, because this is Block 3. Without Block 3, there is no HLS. There is no Starship program. This has to succeed. So they have to. My guess is they'll say something. If not, then they say it when they plan on catching a ship or something like that. I would expect them to.
Yeah, Block 3 is kind of their minimum viable product
Yeah.
because they'll be able to do Starship tankers at least inefficiently for HLS and to get HLS there, but I think it'll take the V4 stretch before they can hit some of their payload targets.
All right, thanks, Cindy. How are we going for questions at Sanchez?
Good so far. Thank you.
All right, can we move on to the build site now?
Yes.
That's not the build site. That's the build site. All righty. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the extra commentary there. Good on yous. Gigabay's a bit slow again this week because of weather again, I understand. So they have managed to complete most of the third level of columns. This week also sees a lot more of the down here the handrails for the staircases as well. Last week the week before, whatever, we saw some over here get installed. And they have started painting in these tarped up areas. Let's remember which image it was. These images, I think. Down in here, they've started. Which image was it? One of these images. Down on these legs down here, they've started painting the frame.
Right there. Right there. Bottom bay. Just to the right. Right. You can't. Right center frame. Right there.
It's covering it. Yeah, we can actually see on the next bay. We can actually see the finished paint over here on one of the photos. But yeah, that's been tarped up there to do some painting. But that's whether I find an image or not doesn't really matter. But yeah, they're starting to paint it white like they did in the factory. It's about the most exciting thing that happened at the Giga Bay. Down there, we can start to see it down there. Look, there's a white. It's been painted white. And that one. I still don't see any rebar getting installed here for the concreting yet, although it's fairly prepared for it. I thought maybe we saw some, but it turns out it's just shadows. Not much more to talk about on the Giga Bay, unless you got something to add.
No, I don't think until they finish off this level, we'll see any rebar in those lower levels.
Yeah, sooner or later, we should start seeing cladding start going up because I think they're starting to do that over at Roberts Road. But we should be seeing that soon.
That'll be after the concrete, I think, gets poured.
Yeah.
They do typical high-rise construction.
Either way, it's just an ongoing process. A lot of steel. That's really all it is right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of steel. It's an amazing amount of steel.
That's only 3 levels.
Yeah, I know. Not even.
It's about 60 meters is where it's at, yeah. And the booster was a pretty good comparison because they parked the booster like right next to the parking garage. So if there was any cameras looking at the booster towards the parking garage, you could kind of perfectly see that, it's basically 60 meters tall, is where the Gigabay's at the moment in relation to a 72-ish meter tall booster. So, yeah.
March was scheduled for the cladding crane at least, says Capsa. And yeah, good contract, good paint contract, that one. Yeah, the whole thing's a good contract. Humans for scale, this thing's huge, man. Okay, let's. It took me forever in show and tell to get off the Gigabay in show and tell. People kept asking questions.
Like,
They've added a few more of these braces in here as well this week. Okie dokie. They've cleaned up. There was a few bits of platform here last week have been cleaned up, so that seems to be completed. We did see booster 19 roll, so it's not in. This mega bay is empty now. The Starlink loader box. They seem to have added more air pipes this week. It's like each unit has one pipe going to each hole. Basically, that one seems to go one there, and this one seems to go one both ways, and so does that one.
redundancy.
So that's to keep it as a clean room, I'd imagine.
Clean room.
Yeah.
And probably under positive pressure at that as well.
It's likely if they're really doing this much to keep it clean, there's probably actual Starlink satellites in that thing right now. So
Yeah, it reminds me of the carts at chip fabs that they use to move wafers from station to station.
This thing?
Yeah. Right now, the loader box.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Oh, that's the aft flap trolley, I think, for the aft flaps that are installed, yeah. Do we know? Does that mean 39 may go orbital, or they're just going to chuck some?
Oh no, it's not going orbital, not in a million
All
years. Right. Yeah, no. They may load actual Starlinks to get rid of, but use actual Starlinks that so they can test with the Pez, because this is going to be the Pez dispenser they're going to use for Starlink actual Starlink missions, barring any other changes they make. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're done with the dumb links and they use actual Starlinks to test it out. And it could be ones that are defective or whatnot, but it's an actual Starlink sat or something.
And they can start working on their release, since it's so much different than from a Falcon, how they're ejecting it.
Yeah, they can practice things.
Yeah. And depending how close to orbital they are, it's not likely their thrusters would be enough to kick them into orbit, but as far as maneuvering them to start that process, they could definitely, do a quick and dirty test.
Are these the same Starlinks they're using in Falcon 9, or are these the new bigger?
No. Those are much bigger. These are actual V3 sats. What's used on Falcon 9 or what's called V2 minis. These satellites, I forget the bandwidth increase. The V3s have a gigantic bandwidth increase over what they're currently deploying.
Isn't like one of them the equivalent of an entire Falcon 9 payload currently, or something obnoxious like that?
It's something along those lines, because they can do like 28 V2 minis, and a fully loaded ship, if it has the payload capacity to do it, I think it's like 50 to 70 V3 sats it can hold in the payload bay. Question is, can it lift all that many? I don't know if the stat can. That's the question mark. And I think, because I know a full stack of V2 minis is more than one single Viasat satellite by like a wide margin, by a significant amount. And I think a Starship one adds like 50. It's an insane amount. I'd have to look up the numbers again though. I just know it's nuts.
Yeah, and it's a larger bus, so they also might want to see how much it burns up in reentry, their coatings, the solar, how it unfolds. There's lots of things they could utilize their brief visit
So,
in space.
for example, is what it seems like. It's a 10 times increase, I think, is the new ones. So the old Sats, the current V2 models, I think, run at, I don't even know. The V1.5s were like 20 gigabits a second or something along those lines. I think the V2 minis might be around 80 or something along those lines. And then the V3s, unless they've updated it more, the V3s are a terabit of bandwidth per sat. Per sat. So a single Starship launch is 70 terabits of bandwidth to the network.
Yeah, I thought it was 60.
It's either
But-
way, that's ridiculous. That's a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah.
And then you add the fact that they're at like 6,000 sats. I think their upper limit to finish the network was 30,000, right? I forget the latest FCC filing.
It's getting very gray though, because
Yeah.
it's like, is it direct to device? Is it pure Starlink? Shh, we don't talk about those.
I just but you know, don't even get me started on the whole 1 million satellites for an AI network in low Earth orbit. I hope that gets
Yeah.
denied. I hope that it gets denied and shot down in an instant.
Yeah, let's
I
not go
really
there.
hope it does.
Let's get back to Starbase.
I mean, it mostly launched from Starbase.
True. It is relevant. I understand. Yeah. Just before we move on, there's that question there from MOK Mokita Andy.
Would you like me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think they'll build a star factory, not everything, as high as the Gigabay side doors, or keep it current height and only raise the corridor to Gigabay side door level?
The later.
Those are the final size openings.
The question here is, are they gonna? I think they're just gonna like put a parapet wall up here to bring the roof so it's up to the roof will be the same height as the top of these doors. So will they build the star factory as high as Gigabay side doors, or keep its current height and only raise the corridor to gigabit? So yeah, I think they're only going to raise the corridor to that. Well, they're not. They're just going to, like I said, build the walls up here slightly higher to match that height. I think I'm trying to say.
Yes, what Steph said.
Yeah, words
are hard.
And then we have one more along the same lines for the Gigabay.
Sure.
Schizo Quirk's asking, what percentage of its final height is the Gigabay roughly at?
Roughly half.
How far is it?
Under
They're
half?
asking how. Yeah.
Well, it's 3 columns high now. It's sort of 6.5-ish columns high when it's finished. So it's roughly halfway up. It's by no means half finished. It's about half the height though.
Yeah, and how much of that half column is just parapet or?
True. Excellent questions. Okay, I was around the back. Now I've lost my photo. So around the back, not much has happened around the back, except the forward flaps have gone in the factory as well now. So I guess that's going on another 40 or 4, what do you call it, 4N, 40-something ship. Okay, around the back, I mean, around to the apartment building. Which I guess is around the back. There looks like that's the final exterior. I mean, given they put plants over it, and they've also seemed to be putting some kind of signage over it. So I'm guessing that's sort of the finished product, which is kind of weird colour considering everything else is just black or white here, or dark grey and white.
It'll be green in no time.
Yeah. Green is nice. I like green.
Then
That's
brown.
definitely-
Then because SpaceX wouldn't know what preventative maintenance was if it whacked them across the head, all the plants will just die. So
I hope not. A little block down here, they're developing for something. Not sure whether it's some kind of water park or there seems to be some kind of plumbing getting put in. I thought maybe it's for water, getting rid of water, but I don't think it's that. I didn't notice this shape yesterday either. So
Looks like
something going
sprinklers.
in there. Sprinklers.
Kind of looks like.
Anyhow, that's happening. Around the front side, I think I've got a front side photo. Maybe a second here. Yeah, a front side photo. Sort of just continuing as expected. Not really much to report really on that. Walls are being built, concrete's being poured, the usual. Oh, Ryan, you said yeah, nah before. You did an Aussie. You spoke Aussie there before when you answered a question. Okay, this little bit of concrete looks to be fairly well broken up now. Interesting to see what they actually do with that. The rest of the village, well, that's not a good village shot. That rest of the village you do. I don't know. There's another one of those, like at Sanchez, another one of those blocks that they haven't owned yet. It's kind of odd, just sticking out in the middle of nowhere. I know it's always been there, but it's just odd sort of spot. At the front, that's what I'm looking at the front. The turnout has had more work done to it, and still getting a lot more work done to it. Which I'm sort of more thinking, because they can get booster around here, they don't really need, they don't really need the ramp, I guess. Well, they booster laying down. So there's sort of two, speculation whether they lay them down here and take them horizontally to the port, to the port, or whether they carry them to the port upright and lay them down at the port.
I'll lay them down at the port.
Do we have a shot of Highway 4 and Massey's Road? Because
have a look here.
the tanks they moved is a interesting, almost analog for the vehicle. Yeah, now the Highway 4 corner.
No, only on satellite and Google Earth. No, sorry.
I will say, because
hang
that the tank is not as big as a booster, but it's close.
Yeah,
They had some troubles last night. They almost didn't make that turn. I'll just say that.
It was fun. It was entertaining. Yeah.
They almost didn't make it. Like very, very nearly didn't make that turn.
So yeah, that
if it had been a booster, they would not have made the turn. Period.
Yeah. So if they're laying down the booster, and transparent horizontal, which pretty good chance. And the road geometry is also a cheat from coming from the port, since it's not quite a 90.
Oh, the connector road, yeah, it's here somewhere.
Oh, I mean, the Highway 4, yeah, is... So, yeah, that should be kind of if they're doing it horizontal, then they're going to need that width that they're adding. Like gigabit.
I see. Yep. I see what you mean. Yep. They've taken down the power. They've actually put the power lines underground here as well. I'm not sure when that happened. So they can put it vertical around here. Yeah. I'm not convinced either way yet.
I'm on the horizontal camp, unfortunately. Nice switch.
It'll be vertical all the way to the port, and then they'll go horizontal. They'll take it to the Cape, make it vertical again, either at the turning basin or whatever, port or whatever, and then take it to where it needs to go. I think that's what they'll do.
I'm sorry, I think they're going to lay it down here, but I wish they'd do it vertical. But if they do lay it down here, we'll get possibly a nice shot of the aft.
My question is where? Where do you lay it down, and how the hell do you turn it out? There's not enough room coming out of the Gigabay to turn a 72-meter booster and then not to that fact an 80-meter booster when they go to stretch it. There is not enough room there to turn that kind of a booster. Not even with the extension.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Fear moved.
And yeah, that's something that we'll find out soon. Wow, there's a big donation there in chat.
Yes, there's a big donation from RC Horseman who donated $139.99 Canadian dollars. And they say, sorry I'm late, but here is for the fuel. Love the flyovers. Thank you so much, RC Horseman.
Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Keep the wheels turning and the wings flying, as they say. Or I said anyway.
Hi, Rick.
All right, so sorry to interrupt you. Sorry, not sorry. Let's go on to any more questions and donations for the build site.
No, we're good for now. Thank you.
All right, let's head over to the launch site. Love those nice panoramas. Mount Panorama. I'm getting those two mixed up. The biggest motor race in Australia happens. It's not the Grand Prix in Australia, by the way. The biggest motor race in Australia is Mount Panorama. Okay, launch site. Get it right, Steph. This week we see all the arms and the hoods. Well, the hoods have to go in with the arms retracted. We can sort of see it kind of tricked me a bit, but they kind of stand. I thought they weren't quite closed, but they kind of naturally stand off a little bit because of their profile. So I've been rest assured that that's quite normal and okay. So it's good that they managed to retract them and don't see any broken hoods or linkages on the ground. So it looks like that was a success for them. It's a good start for that side of things. Not that I thought there would be a problem.
I gotta say, it looks nice. I mean, I know there's a lot of scaffolding, a bunch of stuff still around, but them retracted, it fits snug and it looks nice. I like the way it looks. I can't wait till it's nice, all cleaned up and everything's closed up. It'll look really nice and cool.
You want to make it even look nicer? A booster sitting on it, a full stack sitting on it, actually.
Full stack blowing up?
No, just sitting on it. No, we don't. we don't want that. We do want that. We don't want that. We do. No, we don't. No, we don't want that.
Just checking. That looks spectacular.
It would. That's supposed to say excitement guaranteed. There you go. They did park the transport stand here on 45 degrees, and You're saying, Alex, these was it? No, BJ. One of you two was saying about these. Could be where they sat at the transport stand down on.
Yeah,
It was BJ.
It's BJ, but everything's sort of clocked that you can come in at a couple different angles.
Even this way as well. Not that they'd need to. You wouldn't be able to probably get the SPM. Well, you might fit it in there, I suppose. But I don't understand why they need to come in on this angle. Would this be even for putting a booster on? I imagine it had to come in line, but reasons.
It depends which way it's on it, because there should only be one orientation I'll be able to lift it from.
Yeah, to line the QDs up. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, I think if you're doing the full proper stack, it would have to come in basically parallel.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you could work out, they could put the booster on crooked, couldn't they? I mean, and maybe they need to get it out of the mega bay?
Main issue where they pick it up with the chopsticks, the load point, I guess it'll be on the grid fins, has to be perpendicular with the rails. So
absolutely, yeah.
So that, and whether or not you place the vehicle on the stand with some crooked, which you could, obviously, and then you could just back it straight out the bit, because they have to do that sort of diagonal dance anyway. And there shouldn't be anything unique about where it sits. I mean, it should be symmetrical, all those 20 load points. So you basically have 18 degrees per, you can sort of clock it.
Yeah, that's going to be my next question. Can you see that multitude of 18 degrees is in here in that angle? But it's probably a bit hard to tell.
If you draw a line, see the straight down the 4, because those aren't at a 45 degree angle. Because if you make a right triangle, the two squares, if you drew a line, the skinny, yeah, and you made a right triangle there, that isn't 40. That's probably 36. So if I were eyeballing, so yeah, so, or is it, no, it's 9 degrees. No, it's
360 divided by 20 is something like
18.
18.
Yeah.
We can do physics, but we can't do math.
Well, it's right the first time, and then I started second guessing myself, going, that's not an 18 degree. So I'd buy 30. Yeah. Anyway, never.
Got some scaffold on both sides, and it seems to line up with the circle here. And one of the speculations was they were doing something to do with the holes, but I like your idea, Alex. It's more to do with something up under the stand, up under the OLM.
Removing the floor, the temporary scaffolding floor.
Oh, nice. That'd be nice to see.
Yeah, because there's some shots where it's a lot more visible that it's more of a U shape that they're building underneath rather than especially on this side where you see the glint hitting the scaffold towers that they're building.
We might finally get to see sooner or later a completely bare and clean mount. Because the thing is I don't know what else they have to do. Like at this point, it's like I truly think we're at the point of a top deck test. If they can clear everything out, clean up.
You can't really tell from this. It's the gap between the clamp arms and the OLM. From some shots, it looks rusty, so it looks like they have been welding on that edge. But yeah, that would be the last
Seal.
mate. Yeah. Which I'm of the opinion that they're going to spray water from the inside along those gaps, because they do have quite a bit of water entering into the OLM.
Are those gaps? Are the gaps you're talking about?
You are going to get a low pressure in there. I don't know if they'd be able to produce enough gas to... It might be even sort of like the old Firex system where they're injecting nitrogen into water. So anything that would get in there wouldn't be any oxygen to burn and the water to cool the heat.
Cool. People are noticing, chat, how good your vocals are this week. Thanks, Alex.
You know, I can't fidget as much. It's not as fun.
I say you've made Andy was saying you've made a concerted effort to fix your vocals. I thought they had a plate on the arms, on the actual clamp arms that covered that whole bottom half of the hole. It obviously doesn't quite cover.
And at the bottom where it connects to the lower hinge is even more open. If we go back to the clamp arms, probably the Florida shots from last week would show it the best.
Oh, the Florida shots, you say?
Yeah, but even this one, you can sort of see the gaps on either side of the clamp arm. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, they could have put backing plates as well from inside the ring, and then make sort of a Z channel, so that any gas that is getting pulled through it.
What, there's H beams and I beams. Now you're going to say there's a Z channel as well. Come on.
Hey, don't get me started on labyrinth seals that they use.
The wall has been finished pretty well.
And there's your infinity edge.
Down here, yeah. Up here, you'll see we're quite up, and with an infinity edge, you have to have a trough, obviously, to catch the water. So yeah, it does look very much like a infinity edge, but I bet you that's not water level.
No, you could see the drain pipes right on the bottom there. So I think they're going to use it sort of as a settling pond.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
In a mosquito breeding ground.
The sun's coming up. Cool. $7:13. Oh, cool. We're over time a little bit. That's good. I knew we would.
Really?
Only by 10 minutes. It's all good. Well, that's a close-up. Oh, that's right down there. Wow.
Yeah, you can see the little buttress plates that they welded in. The little vertical triangles right behind. Yeah. In some of the shots there.
They're just resting on there.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is stopping it from sliding off the bucket.
Yeah, they're...
Deflector, sorry.
It's a sort of like a buttress. They have a...
Yes. Sticks are looking good. Yeah, there's, like Ryan said a minute ago, there can't be a great deal left to do. The QD arm's sort of in place, and all its plumbing seems to be pretty well finished now.
And there's a top-down shot, and yeah, I have words. I don't see your actuator. That you can see the flap notch in the deluge. Yeah, because there's your pivot joint right there. So,
Okay, nothing in here.
yeah, there could be one just on the other side, pushing it, that's occluding that mounting point. Of course, this one won't show it.
No, it's just out of shot, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a top-down shot that shows perfect the sticks and the flap notch on the OLM deck.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a great... Yeah, we're going to look down. I'm just trying to find that because we can see there's something to look at up the top of the tower. We'll get there. It took me a second to find it the other day too. I'm just going to bear with me here for a sec.
What about the one 3 to the left? That one? No, that one's too much of the OLM. Never mind. Yeah, that one shows a flap notch pretty well.
It really is that close.
Yeah.
Right in line too. What actuator? What you talking, Willis?
I think it's on the inside, and you can't see it because you can see the big pivot joint. So I think it would be, yeah, I think it'd be pushing from the inside, not instead of pulling it like you speculated.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're even... Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, I'll eat that crow. Fair enough.
Well, it's just, rotated 180 degrees.
Oh, that's even better. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the obligatory SpaceX tweet on Booster 19.
Obligatory.
Sure, I don't know. Call it that.
Please don't blow up.
Right?
I don't have it. Hang on.
It's in chat. Joe put it in chat as well.
That one?
There you go.
Yours.
Nice. Oh, nice. That's a good shot. That's spectacular, that shot. Unreal. Oh, details. Deets. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think that was on 18, but yeah.
Birds.
And they actually called it Booster 19 too. We're back
Instead of Flight 12.
It's nice that we're back to naming the things. How about and I'm just gonna say this out loud for everyone. Put the number on the booster.
Wait.
With a decal. Put the stupid number on the stupid booster.
Like a tail number?
Yes. Like
Stupid.
Falcon 9 does.
I'm glad you used that word.
Which word?
Stupid. And not the other word he was thinking to say.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. I'll accept that, Crow. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to find the top of the tower.
Shouldn't be hard to miss. Oh wait, never mind.
Let me just do it the hard way. There we go.
You'll have Webby or I share a screen. That'll be really challenging.
Yeah, we would just zip around just looking at things. It wouldn't be.
No, someone needs
Or
to
would you-
control you two, I tell you. Not
Or
control,
would you have
guide.
dueling mice?
I already did a show and tell once, and let's just say I like to zip around way too much to do one. I'll just put it that way.
You made everyone
I'm-
dizzy.
I am way too ADD to be trusted.
Yeah, no, I thought I could do it, and I'm like, nope. I'm zipping around all over the place.
I mean, it's hard enough for me to stay still sitting in front of my machine and not roam around. Things I do
So
for everybody.
there was a point to that, actually. There was some work that being done up on top of the tower. Dang it, now I've lost the silly photo. What'd you call it? The silly photo? The stupid photo.
Said put the stupid decal on the stupid booster. For once,
Jonas-
I want to see it.
Jonah's astrophoto says, "Say it louder for the people in the back, Webby."
Okay.
It took the words right out of your mouth. I was going to say that myself, but it slipped my mind for a second. Yeah, they're doing some work up here, even on the level below 2, I think, doing something with the work, the plating, I think, was what was said.
And why did they wrap the drawworks cable? That's not like them.
Oh, just for the welding, yeah.
They're being safe.
What?
What?
Wouldn't even know.
Humans
Wow,
for
they're
scale.
built- They're building a
in the 30
lighting
years.
tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's essentially one massive big lightning tower, but yeah, sure, they're going to put one on top. Good to see they're using their safety lines. You probably wonder your way all the way up there. Oh, that'll carry a parachute.
Where's? Oh, they don't have Todd's basket up.
He has a basket named after him.
There's we were looking at those photos and there's that worker and that weird basket that's sort of hanging off one of the beams. It's just sort of canted out in space. Yeah, that one right there. Steph had her hand on. Yeah.
Look, these are what
Oh.
are all these things? No, that's a vent. What are these other ones?
They're for the oiler or whatever that is for the cable.
Oh, gotcha.
Stuff and things.
I don't. Is it an oiler or is it to like get the dust off? I forget. For when they.
I mean, I will say this: that cable looks in way better shape. Even though it's been out for a bit, still it looks way better shape than the one they ever used for Bad One. Because oh boy, did that look bad. Ugh. That pad had so many problems.
Someone in chat, imagine if Ryan said it like Samuel L. Jackson would say it, like in Pulp Fiction. I like that movie, Pulp Fiction. It's one of my favorites.
Full on Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, what a guy.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Concrete. So true.
Or they're going to make a nice
been...
little green eraser.
Sorry?
Or they're going to make a nice little green eraser.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
I like the blast door they installed on that bunker.
It's got an awning.
Yeah, it's a track door.
Ah, I didn't even notice that.
It's your
the better
favorite
shot?
building.
It is.
Oh, no, that's my favorite building over there. Oh, Alex's favorite building, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez,
That is
that's
kind
a
of funny
strong
that
door.
it's a track door, not
And-
like a open and shut like bank vault door or like blast door.
Look above the access to that deck
That's a blast door.
and windows.
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
It's
Makes you
It's like
wonder
that-
whose desk is behind that window.
What makes it more fun is if like they actually had like lowering blast doors, like blast
Oh.
doors that lowered over all of those, so it just all shut with blast doors during a launch, and then it opened back up again after a launch or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be. Yeah.
It looked cool.
Vertical louvers. That door
Yeah.
looks like it's poorly rendered video game. They've just put a door somewhere
does.
random. It doesn't look like it belongs.
It doesn't
Yeah.
look like it belongs there.
Yeah, it looks like that gate on a path and just grass all around it. That meme.
You're like it's some secret door to a secret location almost,
An Easter egg. So those two tanks are sitting here ready to go over there. We'll get there in a second. They're finally finishing off this little bit of wall back here. We got a bit of a view in there, but still not really much to see what exactly is going on there. But it all seems to be
Pumps.
finished, whatever they're doing.
There's 2 pumps.
2 pumps.
There's a shot.
On that skid.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, I think, one of the better shots of it.
The pump, maybe.
Yeah.
And a basket strainer here.
I hope so. It's either a
Some kind of
basket
tool.
strainer or a check valve.
Actually, sorry. Actually, yeah, no, I was pulled up on that. That's actually a manual. There's one of the shots show there's a segment on this side. It's like a handle you swing like 90 degrees to turn it off, as opposed to over here. There's one with another one just here somewhere. It's the turning handle what type.
They put a
They're all
butterfly
technical
valve
terms.
there.
Highly technical terms, trust me.
I would expect it if line like that would have at least had a global valve, not a butterfly. That one looks pretty good.
Yeah, isn't that a sector for a handle?
No, that looks like it's a check valve. Those look like bolts around a.
Maybe like it's a hemisphere. I mean a half circle. It's not a hemisphere. Semicircle. Semicircle. Hemisphere, semicircle. What's the difference? Yeah, that one has a handle by the look of it.
Yeah.
Turny thingy.
Yeah, I thought that was a check valve because there's something sort of obscuring part of it.
So we're still sort of not sure whether one thought was maybe they could, park the Movac trucks over here somewhere and bring the water from I don't know, there's many different speculations, but they can do with that pipe that goes under the ground there.
Do we have a better shot at the end of the retention pond? How they.
I could probably bring up one of Sean's real quick. Let me look for a sec. I did last week though. Was that not good enough from last week? No, last week we had one though.
If Sean has a ground shot, that would probably be better. Just
Just give me 1 second on that. Where is it?
Looks like that next tank and then the Was the low pressure cold boxes ready to go?
Yeah. Well, they're still working on installing the platforms on the column. Just a installation column.
I got the booster roll out last night. Just 1 second here. Not sure how I'm going to do this. I might just have to take a screenshot. Not that day. Just keep talking for a sec.
We never talk. I don't know what you're talking about. Ryan and I sit quietly.
Never.
It's happening.
1 sec. It's happening, trust me. I'll try one more. Come on, Interwebby, you can do it.
What?
Oh, Interwebby. Oh, I see. I thought that might confuse you.
I mean,
actually.
I'm here.
It's not going to work. Sorry.
Darn
Should have
it.
done my homework.
That's okay.
Okay.
I
I'll
blame
try
myself.
one more. So we got some good photos of ASU and everything.
Tuesday.
I feel like we could do a show and tell on his stuff alone, I reckon. Just 1 second here, people. It's been way more than 1 second, I know.
Been like a lot more than 1 second.
I'll just give that a second. We'll move on. I might come back to that in a second, Alex.
Or Tuesday.
Just
Or
do
Tuesday.
more.
Okay, we'll do that Tuesday. Thanks. That's a good idea, actually. That's a really good idea, actually. Thanks.
Yeah. Every now and then I get a good idea. So
Does it hurt when
Otherwise,
that
me and
happens?
Alex are usually wrong.
but in special ways.
Yeah.
So let's make people
Okay.
laugh. Or cry.
Sorry.
Or angry. Just feel something.
Okay, this shot's probably the best shot to look over in yonder. We don't actually have a shot from the front, but those 2 containers that were in... Oh, no, one's still in there.
You sure? That looks like it's a deck. Oh no, it is
Oh,
hiding
no.
under that deck.
I'm not sure.
No, I think it's gone.
But those 2 heaters were in here. The container heaters have been removed. Finally, it looks like the control boxes have been left behind, these 2 control units. But at least those... That looks like it's got a broken windscreen.
Yeah. Or is that a reflection?
Probably a reflection, yeah.
I think that's a reflector thing to put under the thing to make sure it doesn't get as hot. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Or that a reflection of the the vaporizers, perhaps.
Could be that too. Actually, I think that's what it is.
So we're keeping you up there, Webby?
What?
Yeah, yawning on stream. All right, over here. Oh, this is a good shot to pretty well finish off this side of the launch site. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 skids now, or whatever you want to call these things. I don't understand why I call them skids.
That's her technical name, actually.
And there's room for 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks plus 5, 5 3/4.
6. You could put 2 more there, and you probably could actually put 1 in the gutter that they left between.
Over here.
Yeah, you could probably fit 1 there.
So what's going to happen here? You're going to put tanks in here. These go. What's going to happen? These get shuffled around. They get moved. So many different things could happen here.
they're inspecting the lift points on the 5 or 6 small tanks right now.
They're going. Yeah.
Wow. Do you guys even look at stuff in show and tell?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why we need you, Alex.
No. Wow.
The 11K
was-
has got its work cut out for it. It's got about to we're finally going to get rid of that stupid tank that never got used.
The offline spare.
The offline spare. The network spare, as we like to call it.
So over
Spare
here,
aircraft, yeah.
I haven't used these 2 ports yet. Okay. Oh, nice. You just made my day, Alex. Thank you.
You are very welcome.
I think you might have made everyone's day, actually. Stupid tank, stupid decals. Ryan's new word.
That's where I'm at today.
Oh, no, go for it. It's fine. I'm loving it.
Yep.
There's some extra embeds here for some more tanks too to be for the foundations to be put in.
Yep. At least 6 or 8.
Tanks
So
galore.
enough
You get a
for-
tank. You can have a tank. You get a tank.
Yeah, 2 more tanks.
They see they're going to significantly increase their methane capacity as well as get rid of all the old junk. That's basically what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they can put more hot dogs in here, I guess.
And then I should say what they might do is they might expand that for more locks and LN2 as well if they really want to. Right there.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Just tap right in over here.
You
Stick a T right
count
off.
the number of tanks they have at 39A per commodity, that'll probably be a similar number that we'll end up with here.
Yep, that's a good analogy, actually. Yep. Oh, what do you call it? Oh, whatever that means. Metric? I don't know. One of the, I know the word I'm supposed to be using.
To do like 2.5 launches worth of propellant in a tank
Well,
farm. Give or
and
take.
they're also for the flow rate. The more tanks they have, the lower volume per tank.
They have to pull out,
Oh.
which means less gas per tank they have to put into the tank because you're pulling less out.
Less friction.
It's better.
Yeah. Lower flow rate.
Just while we're here, I was going to pinch a question up here. Will the small tanks get replaced with big tanks like the ones recently moved in? I think that's what because we happen to be discussing that at this minute. That's all, Andy. Thanks.
Those replacements are already here. The two that are sitting over by the water deluge, the one that's currently at the Port Connector Road, and the one that's currently at Massey's are the 4 that are going to replace all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was like 7 or 8 methane tanks there. All of those are going to go bye-bye. And those are going to get replaced by the newer, bigger horizontal tanks so that all the old systems are gone and then they just get replaced entirely. And that's that, basically.
Yeah, it's still kind of odd that they obviously planned on, I think, they would have already launched because with the delays, they almost could have yanked out the small tanks and placed the large tanks there.
Yeah, the one thing I never understood is the delay that they had, and they knew they were going to have a delay anyways. Even if 18 hadn't done what 18 did, they still were going to have a delay because of ship and the pad. So I really don't understand why they didn't already yank those out and replace them now, because they would have been done by now. They basically would have been done with everything.
Construction schedule, probably. And availability of the large tanks and shipping. Because since
And the
39,
11K.
switch to the shorter, larger diameter tanks, they can't really just go shopping there like they did for Massey's.
And the 11K's
Oh.
also been kind of busy lately.
Cooper's put a timer up for you for B19 surpassing B18's lifetime at Massey's.
Yep. There's a countdown timer in basically all the Discords now. It's great.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Love it.
Okay, getting back to the paddy, we've got some sheet piles here ready to get knocked in soon enough, and heaps of rebar cages. And they're drilling. How's it go? Drill. They're doing that here at least.
Drill, baby, drill.
That's it. Drill, baby, drill. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think there's a shot of the cage that they are lowering. A closer one, on one of them, you can see the rollers further up for centering it, and how they sort of tied the bottom together so it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
And that's
when
a
they
roller
lower it in,
system.
well, the roller's further up. That's basically so that it sort of like the drogue. It won't really hit the wall. Yeah. I think right there's another shot. That's one of them. But yeah, it's very top. You could. Yeah, this one might be better. Yeah, if you start panning down.
Tilt.
Oops. Don't know why it does that. I was like there.
Yeah. Right where your hand was, you can see the rollers sort of sticking out. Yeah, there's usually 3 or 4. So that's why when people say those were crashed into the side of the wall. Yeah, that's what might show it better, actually.
Oh, there's a set there.
Yeah. Yeah, to help keep it centered.
Yeah. And they're sacrificial, obviously, yeah.
No, they stay. They're just to keep it centered. Because that's around, and then further down you go, you're not getting, these are just for vertical load. And even their rings are just sort of suggestions to keep the steel on the low section. But yeah, how it tapers down to a point, that's why it's sort of.
Yeah, the rings. Yeah, the rings are just there to keep the vertical steel in the right place.
Yeah. So yeah, it's hard for when they're lowering these in if it's not for them to crash into the side of the borehole.
Where's that one going? Is that going to be in that hole they're drilling right now, is it?
No, it's probably going right where it's vertical there. Probably right where the person in green is. I believe I think it's going right there.
Okay. And that hole's already full of wet grout, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which should be holding the soil, stabilizing the soil so the soil doesn't fall back into the hole, yeah?
Right. Yeah, it's just like the bentonite clay does in the other drill methods, but yeah.
Bentonite, I haven't heard that word for a little while. Okay, the chopsticks have had their stabilizers removed. The window washer frame, what do they call them? Platforms have been removed as well. Whatever they were doing there, they finished doing that. The tower's still here.
The insides have been torn out, basically.
The stairs are still there.
Yeah.
They're gonna remove them, aren't they? They're gonna put them inside, aren't they? They are, aren't they? They're gonna, aren't they? Please tell me they're going to.
I mean, I would hope they would, but I kind of doubt they will. They're kind of installed. I mean, I still say knock down the tower and redo it, but here we are.
Yes, same. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it hasn't sort of fully. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't completely ruled that out yet, but they probably won't. I mean,
The other thing that's
pretty
nice
good.
is on the left, the various different lengths of the rebar cages as they're assembling them.
Iron steel. I've done that with spoon pools. It's a
Hard
job.
work.
That's work. Oh no, building pools for 10 years. It was pretty interesting. They got the ramp here, so I was jumping all over the place again a little bit. They got dirt ramp here ready for the SPMTs to roll those tanks in. So that's all going to probably happen this week even. And by next blow, we could very well see 4 tanks sitting here. And hopefully 4 tanks not sitting here, or 5. What's this? 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I don't know if those tanks will get removed until the 11K is available.
Yeah, true, yeah.
It just has one more lift.
Yeah.
Could it do it in its current configuration, or does it need the extra? I suppose it can reach that far, can't it?
Yeah, I doubt it
Yeah.
needs. It can do it with the derrick. The only thing that the 11K will need to do with the older config is take the SQD arm off pad 1, which at some point it's going to do. I just don't know when.
Yeah.
But it's not really a priority to get rid of that thing at the moment. If there's no other jobs for the 11K to do, and they have the room for it, it'll roll over there and take it off the tower. They'll probably scrap and cut it up on site, throw it into dumpsters, and take it away. That's my guess is how that arm's gonna go.
Yeah, I think they're going to wait till all the drilling's done since that's their staging area.
Yeah. Once the
Pointy
sheet
end.
piles start, they'll probably take the SQD arm out.
Pointy end down, Alex.
Indeed. Just the opposite.
Stupid dumpsters.
And,
Alrighty. Sorry, Alex. What was that?
by the locks, just if somebody needs a standard measure, the old locks pond, the sheet piles, they're 60 feet long in case somebody is measuring.
They're marked, aren't they?
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, if somebody needed a standard ruler, there's
60-foot standard ruler.
Yep. On then you. What's that?
Does that mean they're not going to pull those pipes out, or they're just not pull them out yet? I suppose
Probably
they're
just
going to
not
have to
yet.
I thought
They've got to put a trench through here yet, don't they?
Where are they? Because you used to see them. Or are they right there?
They're either covered or destroyed.
I think they're by the orange barrier. Right. Lower left corner. I think that's where the old deluge pipes.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they've dug it up yet because they would have to fill it back in. I think they're gonna just stay that way until the staging is done and the QD arms out, and then they'll tear those out when they go start digging the trench. Because they'll have to dig the cryo trench too, and that's when you can tear those out, is when you got to dig the cryo trench. So you're not really in a rush to tear them out.
True. Okay, ASU. So there's no real indication there's going to be a tank here yet still. I mean, there could be one here, but I can't see any definite signs of it yet. Can you, Alex?
No. There it looks like the power trailer might end up out here. Just by the sheer volume of conduits they're finally putting in.
Control box for the ESU.
Yeah. Though
Yeah,
the upper
there's a lot there
corner. Yeah.
up in here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's sort of two places by memory has a lot of conduits. One's there at that area, another area is over here. But maybe not there or here even. But yeah, I like your idea of it over here too.
I still personally think it'll be on the other side. Yeah. Up that upper corner that you liked better. No, next to. Yeah. Just because their major loads are over here. And how much they'll use VFDs versus because the cooling fans will have VFDs, but as far as major power use, that's this compressor hull and probably the water pumps for the intercoolers are going to be on those two pads squares that are just behind the up there on the left. Yeah, that one and the one, it's probably where the water pumps are going to be.
Oh, that'll be hefty, big boys.
Was it 600 gallons a minute or something? I forgot how many cubic meters it was.
Need lots of cooling.
A decent flow rate.
Remember, there's no such thing as cold. It's just an absence of heat. Now, the cold box heat exchanger.
Yeah, I mean, heat exchanger that they put a privacy parapet along the top right there. The early render had that open so you could see the distribution sort of spider up there. Somebody this week in Discord posted a nice video that Air Liquid has on the ASU operations.
Air
I saw that. I haven't looked at it though yet, but I did see it there. I was meant to do my homework and look at that video, so oops.
You can wait till Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, is there going to be a test? Oh no.
No, it's just that's a better venue than this one for diving.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, I'm always open for ideas for a Tuesday show. Thank you. Yep, for sure.
Some vaporizers are going there where they're filling in and pouring that gap. Yeah.
And is that what they're calling cold box? Is the tall one that's at the port?
Right there. Yeah, it'll sit there. And then there's a nitrogen tank in front of it on that pad.
I haven't downloaded that image yet.
Oh, yeah, the bonus gallery has a lot of fun.
Show because I can't get rid of the address bar. I can't show the address bar. Anyway, let me just quickly do that. This won't take a second. Because it's only one file. Yeah. One Murray River. Downloads, there it comes. I'll ship it over into here real quick. There it is. And there it is. It should come up right here. There it is. Thank you for your patience there. I didn't do my homework once again. Oops. So obviously that's the top and that's the bottom, and that goes vertical, which some people are finding this to be an interesting breakover to put this vertical. That's the breakover.
That's the bottom at the top of frame.
Yeah, that's where the install plates are.
That's what I said, top here and bottom there, didn't I? Did I say it wrong, did I?
No, you said it wrong.
Because it's pretty obvious which way it up is with the platforms too. So I said that's obviously the top, and that's obviously the bottom. That's what I said. You heard it wrong.
Matt, can you edit the stream?
Yeah, we can edit that. Oops. I'm tired. All right. So we'll go through questions and donations for the launch site, or we're trying to figure out if we've missed anything at the launch site.
So we have lots of donations and lots of questions. I'll start with the donations if that works for you.
Sure.
We want to thank Drew Nar, who donated a second round of $5 Canadian and says, Webby, what if the move booster slightly tilted up like the wind turbine blade with the forward end swinging over the edge of the road?
I would love to see someone try to do that with a super heavy booster, just for science, to see what happens.
For science!
Right, Alex? For science.
Yes. Well, the 11K would be great for helping to facilitate this.
Just roll the 11K with it down Highway 4.
Yes.
And for those of you wanting an earwig, you can think of weird science. We also want to thank Johnny Bubbas. Go on.
No, I was just saying, it's alive.
That's right. We want to thank Johnny Bubbas for his 18.70 euro donation, and that was for fuel. David G donated $50 and says, for Cessna fuel, I always look forward to the flyovers and the follow-up content they generate. Amazing work, everyone. Keep up the great work. We got a second $5 donation from Yazada, who says, gotta help Mauricio reach the goal in chat for Cessna flyover fuel. And $20 from Methane Man, who says, help towards fuel and a little coffee for Ryan. Wake up, Ryan. And Revhead, who donated 20 pounds and says, thanks, everyone. And then there was a $40 donation from me as well. And then
thanks,
questions.
Indy.
There's also questions. First one is from Beanie. They ask, didn't Elon once imply employing the saboteur process at Starbase? Is there any indication that the ASU could be set up to get CO2?
Nope. Well, it will, but in the two absorption columns, but it's not really a lot would be collected. I mean, you have one that's, 40 parts per million? So yeah, you'd have to move a few multiples as the volume of air they're moving with this to harvest CO2 directly from the atmosphere.
So wasn't that to convert CO2 into and water into methane and LOX, that process?
They did that with the, what was the latest probe we sent to Mars with a helicopter? That one had they did a test on it to create methane from the atmosphere, which it should work. I mean, it's a process that was used since the 20s, I think.
Cool. Thanks, Indy.
Sure. And then Mark G just wanted to clarify, when you guys were talking about the tower, They said the thing on the tower around the line to the drawworks is called a line guide. It helps guide the line on the drawworks drum when they're picking the chopsticks up. So that was just an informational thing. Astro Knucklehead asks, "Great job on the 5-year ago video. Like to see more of that type of stuff on RGV. Chronicling the progress is a real eye opener." We agree, and I believe we're going to have more too. So don't you worry. And then Kane asks, "Don't they have to remove the big rebar cages of the old LM launch mount legs before doing the trench?"
No. They're either going to integrate them into the pile cap underneath, or they'll just, as they dig out the trench, they'll demo the cages as they go.
Schrodinger's chat asks, "Will there be a second pump farm for PO pad A, or will the current pump farm serve both pads?"
There'll be a second pump farm, at least according to the documents that were filed with the Army Corps.
Over here somewhere.
Yeah.
And then Stephen Lewis asks, "Where's the replacement SQD arm?"
Not built yet.
Might need that for quite a while.
They don't need it. Yeah, they don't need it for a while, anyways. For at least another year.
So, I think they're going to be digging this trench out probably by the end of the month.
Nice.
9 months then.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, this pad won't be up and running. Heck, I mean, my estimate's longer than yours, Ryan. So that.
I said a year just for them to even need the SQD. That doesn't say the pad's operational. I still think it's going to be 18 to 24 months.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that was hilarious because normally I'm slightly more optimistic than you. Wait a minute.
It's gone to show that it usually
What's going
takes,
on here?
They've shown that it takes them about 24 months to build a pad from scratch.
Yeah.
Or at least build a pad even with a tower on it. I think 37, considering how scratch that is, there's nothing there really they can use. Maybe that sphere, maybe not, but still, it's like that'll probably take 24 to 30 months, maybe. That's going to take a bit.
I think that sphere might be in the new retention pond. So I think that'll probably be the first thing, the 13K moves at 37.
Maybe, yeah.
Thanks, Indy.
Yep, we got 3 more donations just while we were talking. First one is from DGIELD, who donated $10 and says, "One step closer to the goal." And then Felix donated $10 and says, "For fuel and for you guys being my Sunday habit." And then Yazada with his 3rd donation in the stream, another $5, and says 15 by 15. So we hit our target. Well done. Thank you all for your generosity. And I got a couple more questions for you. Matthew asks, "Will the LR 11,000 be needed to lift the power bunker into place, or will it be done over here after the coal box is put in?"
It probably depends where it goes.
Does it require the 11,000? That could be done with one of the smaller cranes, couldn't it?
Or drive it with SPMT.
I just drive it in, yeah.
Yeah. Depending where it ends up. But yeah.
Thanks,
right.
Indy.
And then, I got 3 more, if that's okay. 4 more.
Yeah.
Oh, no, 3 more. Sorry. Fly Jake asks, "Will all of the Lego pieces at the ASU be open to the elements, or will they build a building around it?"
The open truss ones that are there is going to probably stay that way. The compressor hull is going to be enclosed.
Over there.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Hey, there's all that's designed for sitting in and a lot of ASUs, the compressors wouldn't be enclosed either. The one they built in Brownsville, that whole section is open to the elements. Yeah. I think this one they're enclosing it for noise mitigation because that should be the loudest consistent portion of the site.
Right on. And then the last two questions come from Kay Nessie. And they ask, do we know who makes the ASU Lind-like Brownsville plant? And where does the air enter the ASU?
It's Air Liquide, not Lind. And the air will be coming, the inlet takes, at least on the diagrams, will be just to the left of out of frame. There'll be some large mechanical filters coming and heading straight out that way, and there'll be probably roof inlets, sort of like large versions of what you'd see as a makeup air inlets on restaurants, which probably doesn't help anybody, but yeah.
Oh, it helps. We learn a lot from your ASU informations, my friend. Even Yazada said that.
Absolutely.
And those are all of the questions and donations. And again, thank you all for your generosity in the stream. We really, 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 really appreciate it.
How much
That's
do
for
we
sure.
appreciate it, Indy?
As much as a flyover for next week. That's how much we appreciate it.
Good call. All right. Well, thank you, Indy, very much for being on the stream today and doing questions and donations. Really appreciate it and really love you having back on the stream. So that's awesome. I'm glad we had you today. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to thank Ryan Webber for coming over and joining us on commentary today as well. Again, I really appreciate you being here today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure as always. Always fun to talk Starship.
And Alex, as always, really appreciate your knowledge and patience with us all. Thank you very much for being with us today.
You're welcome. It's always fun and a little more entertaining because Ryan's around.
Absolutely.
Wow.
These two work together. Oh, these two work together so well.
And,
Wow.
you know, Andy.
I feel insulted.
Wow.
That wasn't meant.
I said, wow.
You'll be all right.
And I'm going to leave the sign off to Matt. I've been Stephanie B. I really appreciate everyone's kind manner in the chat and your questions. And these have good conversations in the chat, I see. That's awesome to see. So appreciate you all. And thank you, Matt, for pushing the buttons and turning on dubs. And I'll leave the sign up to you, Matt.
All right. Much appreciated. And it is my pleasure to be here and help out with the streams and getting all this content out to you guys. We really appreciate you joining us this weekend as usual, and just want to remind you we do have Starbase Expanded coming up on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central, where we go over all the little things around Starbase that we've gleaned since this show, things that we found or figured out, and we talk about all the off-site and on-site kind of support places like the ASU we talk a little more in depth about. We talk about Rio West and all those kind of different areas. So if you're interested in that, please join us on Tuesdays. So with that, thank you again, everyone. Most engines cut off. Hot staging confirmed. Love you. Bye.